Hey everybody, I don't usually do this, but since I'm up and I just finished that wild Monday Night Football game, I wanted to put a quick reaction video together. First things first. The teams, both of these teams, what a game! What a game they put together. You know, Cousins played pretty well. He couldn't get it done at the end. Russell Wilson did what Russell Wilson does. He did put it together at the end. He wins games. Great for him. I gotta say, as good as that game was, it was a real bummer to see it end with a freaking fumbled kickoff. Return. What is that? By the way, kickers in the NFL, can we please find a kicker that can make their freaking extra points? I mean, New England's on about their seventh kicker now. Completely ridiculous. But I think that here are the big takeaways. One, Seattle can win the game offensively. I mean, they're not just a defensive team anymore. In fact, they're not a defensive team anymore. They are an offensive team. And this team with DK Metcalf, I know he had that key fumble, but DK Metcalf is going to continue to progress. Chris Carson, as I thought, and I think everybody out there, that really pays attention to the Seattle Seahawks running game, was back, and he ran very well. He ran very hard, and Minnesota really didn't have an answer for him, and that was a big key. Rashad Penny certainly added. Tyler Lockett, I thought he was going to score a lot better than he did. Minnesota did a great job of bottling him up, but it didn't matter because Seattle was good everywhere else. So there you go. In Minnesota, once Dalvin Cook went out, and this is the big thing to track from the game. Once Dalvin Cook went out, now I love Alexander Mattison, but you cannot reproduce Dalvin Cook. It would be like if you had Alexander Mattison replacing Christian McCaffrey or replacing Saquon Barkley. I mean, you can't replace guys that are that dynamic in the run and the pass game. Although I think Minnesota will be okay with Madison if Cook does miss an extended period of time, and we'll see how long that is. Hopefully it's not long. We'll get more information on that tomorrow, so I'll hold back my extended waiver projections and daily fantasy football analytics for that news. But while he's gone, I think Alexander Mattison will be okay, but Minnesota needs Adam Thielen back. I don't think they're going to win against Green Bay later this season if they only have, say, Stephon Diggs and Kyle Rudolph, as good as those pieces are. Now, playoff-wise, it's very interesting because, Seattle vaults from number 5 to number 2 in the conference based on their head-to-head win against San Francisco a couple weeks ago. San Francisco moves from number 2 after that loss to the Baltimore Ravens down to number 5. They're both 10-2. This is probably the best number 5 seed in the playoffs we've seen in the last decade. San Francisco is very, very good, but you got to take care of your division. We will see L.A., Seattle, and San Francisco all battle it out towards the end of the season these last 4 weeks. And then also keep in mind now the L.A. Rams, who everybody kind of wrote off after after that Monday Night Football loss, that drubbing they took from the Baltimore Ravens. All of a sudden, the L.A. Rams are 7-5. Minnesota Vikings at the 6th seed. They're 8-4. Now the Rams have a really tough schedule moving forward into the last 4 weeks of the season. But Minnesota, I think they finish, if memory serves, they have the Chargers, the Packers, the Bears, and they have one more. Maybe it's somebody like, well, it can't be the Cardinals, but it's possibly the Cowboys. But either way, Minnesota, they have kind of a tough, an easier run at the end of the season than the Rams do. But if the Rams run the table, Minnesota could find themselves out. Right now, they're both even in the loss column in terms of the conference. We're getting into tiebreakers now. They'd be even in the loss column and tiebreakers. I think Minnesota has a half-game advantage based on win. But if the Rams win out and the Vikings win out in their conference but lose that game to the Chargers that they have, then we're going to get into the basically the round robin, the head to head. Well, I don't think they played head to head, but it will be the next tiebreaker, which is common opponents win and loss. And I haven't gone that deep yet. And you know what? I'll wait a week or two before I take that deep of a dive. But very good game. We'll look forward to next week. I think both teams will bounce back. Both teams are firmly in the top 10 of my power rankings, which will be released first thing on Tuesday morning. So please catch that. Thanks everybody for watching. Great game. Hopefully we get more great games like that to end the season, and we'll catch you on another episode of something. I might even call it, I guess, as a reaction video. Maybe I'll react to something sometime in the future. But catch you later. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.